Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to January 13th, second Tech Tip Tuesday of 2025. What an honor to be able to continue this platform and share with you guys some cool tips and techniques and how-tos and why-tos and all that kind of stuff of Healy. My name is Ken Close. If you guys aren't familiar with who I am a Healy World member, just like most of you probably. And I'm an engineer, epigenetic coach, as well as a pioneer member of Healy from ancient history. And I get the honor of hosting this call, and then I am joined by Jake Barron, head of operations here in the Americas. Jake, how you doing?
Hello, Ken. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Coming live. You are coming live from Orlando, right?
That's right, live from Orlando.
Right.
It's
Opposite
Tuesday
side.
Night Live.
Tuesday Night Live in Orlando. Opposite side of the country. Me over here in the Washington State, Pacific Northwest. Probably much different weather patterns than you. But hey, I'm happy to be here and we get to represent, don't we?
That's right.
So we're joined, by the way, our calls, of course, Jake and I, and we're also joined by a customer service representative in the chat. Who do we have? Dongni tonight?
Yes, Dongmi is here, also a member of our tech support team here to help us out tonight. Thank you, Dongmi.
Yay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. A great asset for helping you guys find solutions and answering the questions that you guys bring to us. So welcome, Dongni. Thank you for being here. So let me tell you how Tech Tip Tuesday works if you're not sure. This is a chat-based forum, okay, where you guys come in, toss your questions in the chat, and then we will bring them on live and we will unpack those. We will solve those. We will expand those, explore those. We will have all kinds of fun with those. And so between myself, between Jake and Dongni in the background, and sometimes the audience offering
That's
suggestions
right.
and things, we're interactive here. There's not really any rules except we can't treat, diagnose, or talk about any of the medical aspects or things or conditions within the body. We're not doctors. We're not here for doing that kind of stuff. But we do have resources we can point you to. We can't really answer any questions. If you ask us what to do for X, Y, or Z in my body, well, we will be able to point you to a resource, but we won't be able to answer that resource or that
Yeah.
question for you. Now, if you want to know how microcurrent works, how the programs work, how the apps work, all that kind of stuff, yes, we're here for that, including science. And I mean, that's the open door for all the other stuff. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so hey, folks, if that makes sense to you and you are ready to rock and roll, let's get this party started. Just fire some questions up and let's see what we can do for you guys.
Okay. Let's see.
So Beth's already saying that I had a conflict with Healy's Saturday event. I thought there'd be a replay. I've not seen anything. So there's a highlight email. Everybody probably has that, yes, by now. Um,
Yeah, if you were registered for it or just on the email list, there should have been a highlight email. I'm trying to see when exactly that was sent, but let's see. Um,
I love it.
it went on yesterday, actually, a recap.
Yeah, yeah. So Beth, did you get the recap email or the email with the recap um, content? Gives you some information about what was happening.
Mhm.
It's not the whole live presentation. Highlights are there. Okay, take a look at your email for that.
Yeah, and as far as like an actual full recording, there, I don't know that that the actual, 2.5 hours would be added. There could be some clips, certain sections and stuff added over the next, week or two. But, again, that's kind of still in the works right now. So,
Absolutely. So, okay. So here's one as a basically a question comment. Someone is resonating long distance, so sending signals through the quantum field to a client, and want to target one thing in the Pink app. Okay, so in other words, in the Pink app, folks, this is the Healy 2 app, which is where all the essentially the microcurrent programs live. And we can do an analysis within the HealAdvisor Analyse app, which is how we analyze or bridge the gap, the space between a client, a person, an animal, a place, a building. Any of that could be a client, and a database. Okay, we're bridging a alignment modality between a client and a database, and so we could choose the database called All Healy Programs, which essentially is what lives within that Healy 2 app, all the microcurrent programs. And then that's going to net us a result of, it's going to actually pick 5 components to that database, AKA pages. And then we can actually analyze each individual page that it revealed, because it's going to show you what pages are necessary for the alignment with it for the client. But within each page, there could be up to 12 programs. So that's a lot of content, yes? So then what you do is you go back and you do analysis on each page individually as a new database, a refined database. Okay. And then it's going to pick 5 components from that page, AKA 5 programs from that page. Okay. So now you're getting much more refined. So because the page could have up to 12 programs, but now you're narrowing it down to 5. And each time you do this data analysis from the database, it aligns all of the outcomes in priority, 1 through 5. Okay. So when you do this on each one of those pages, you get priority of programs 1 through 5. So the first listing, or I should say the first analysis that gave you the 5 pages, those are in order. So you list them out in order, page 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you go back and analyze the client again on page 1. Right? And then it's going to give you program 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to page 2, analyze the client. It's going to give you program 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then do it again, do it again, do it again. You have up to 25 programs from 1 to 25 in priority list. So now you can take and resonate or transmit, vibrate is what's called in the app, any one of those programs, but you want to start with the first one. Now you're resonating or sending the number one of the number one page, the highest priority program that client needs for alignment. Okay. So now you know exactly which program. And if they happen to have a Healy on their end, or you can loan one to them through a demo process, or they can purchase their own, now they can actually run the microcurrent program associated with this analysis and get another level of effectiveness. You see how all that works? That's what I call creating a recipe. All right. So I take 5 pages worth of content, create a list of 25 programs in order of priority, and boom, we've got a pretty cool program for an entire week. 3 programs a day, right? You got 25 to choose from. You get a pretty good mother load of alignment for a week. How about that?
sounds like a great protocol to me.
Woo, man, there we go. Let's write the book about it. Okay. All right. What else we got? So let's see. Hopefully the information about the event made sense. Let's see here. Oh, Dory, thank you for the concern about one of our members. Is Doc Steve out of the path of the fires down in LA? We have loved ones, family, Healy members in that area.
Yeah.
So we want to send them right? A bunch of blessing, a bunch of support. Let's do what we can, right?
Yeah. I mean, Doc Steve is luckily okay. We do have members of our Healy family that have lost their houses. Just heard about another one yesterday. So yeah, it's very, very tough times right now. So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Beth says that Beth got that highlight email, was hoping for a complete replay, and there isn't a complete replay, but like Jake said, maybe we'll see some highlights and some stuff.
yeah, it's not as instant as say frequencies and friends and that kind of thing. This was a very, it was a completely sort of produced event, and there's a lot of content, and this was a global event, and there's additional compliance checks and those types of things as well to make sure anything that we do share on the recording side is good to go. So I can't kind of, I don't have any time frame or guarantee of what, if anything, will be made available, but certainly we'll pass that along and keep that feedback in mind too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely put it out there. And by the way, within the customer service portal in your shop page, you've got a suggestion space that you can
Mhm.
make these suggestions, and that goes a long ways. Those we get enough of those, then of course that's going to generate some action. Okay, so Dory's asking, said last time you said it was better not to run the MagHealy while charging it. So let's clarify that. So you can run the Healy while charging, or the MagHealy while charging it. It's just you don't want to do it always. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, when you do it all the time, then the battery's going to have some recovery issues over time. This is over time. So let's say you do it within a like an 80-20 rule or 75-25 rule. 75% of the time you're using it without the charger, fully charged, and then fully depletion, fully charged, fully depletion, and so on, keeping that cycle going. 25% of the time you run it for that 24-hour period or whatever it is on the charger, because you know if you're running it for 24 hours, it's going to deplete the battery. Um, but this is the idea, is that it's not all the time. This is not designed to run day and night on the charger. We don't recommend that. That's it.
yeah. I mean, it's there's times where I think I mentioned in the last call that if you're running a program at or always on the charger, it's going to enter that battery protection mode to where it's not going to charge above 60%. So if you're only using it while it's on the charger, you're most likely in this battery sort of saver protection mode. And then if you were to take your Healy with you somewhere, you're not going to be at 100%. You're only going to be at 60%. So that's something to keep in mind also. If you need to use it somewhere else, take it with you, that you're not going to have the full battery to reset that protection feature. You just need to run it down below 3%. And then you'll at that point, when you recharge it, it'll be able to charge up to the 100% level as well. So, and also keep in mind, depending on the environmental conditions, if you're running a program at 100% with your MagHealy on the charger, you could get that heat warning message too, to where um, it'll slow down the charging as well until it reaches the safe temperature also.
Like Jake said, think about it this way. Let's just say you kept your MagHealy on the charger all the time for a month. All right. And the thing about the charger is that it does not replenish. In other words, it's not a power supply, it's a battery charger. So it does not replenish the battery at the same rate of maximum draw. Okay. So it keeps it from dying, but if it does never get to 100% because there's continuously draw of energy because you're transmitting at the same time as the charge is trying to, but it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. So the draw is a higher rate of consumption versus the charge in terms of replenishment. So again, as Jake said, okay, the system is designed to go to charge to if it's overheating or if it's in that max load scenario, it's only going to charge you 60% if it's on. And then you take it off after that month of use like that and go somewhere, you're going to be missing 40% of its max capacity. And let's just say that max capacity is 8 hours. So subtract 40% from the 8 hour capacity, and that's all you'd be left with. Okay. So it's up to you how to use it, but just know these are the limits.
Okay. Good, great question here from Julie. Actually, Julie said this is my first Zoom. Are the past recordings saved somewhere? And earlier on in the chat, she mentioned where's the best location to keep updated on Healy. So yeah, let me show you a few things here. You're in the right place
Yep.
as far as trying to find out where the best places are to keep updated. So I'm going to share my screen for just a minute. So first thing, we talked earlier about making sure you're signed up for the email list. There was an option to do that when you first start with Healy, but if for some reason you missed that email, go to the Healy shop, us.healy.shop or canada.healy.shop, depending on where you're located. And then scroll down, you'll see here, sort of near the bottom, there's a from Healy World straight to your inbox. And there's a spot here to put your name and email and subscribe right there. So that's definitely make sure that you are subscribed to our email list there. Second, Healy Academy. So this is a tremendous resource. This is academy.healy.world. Very easy to get to. You log in using the same information that you do to log into shop, into the apps, and that kind of thing. And there is very extensive training on all the different products. So you have Healy, MagHealy. So if you just click on Healy, for example, there's great videos on first steps, guide for your device, installing and connecting, running programs, troubleshooting, expert area, and so on. You can go to the HealAdvisor Analyse app section, and there's details here on using that, the resonance, the aura, demo mode, meridian module, and some of the specific databases as well, such as Bach flower analysis. Very cool. There's a science section, which is awesome. If you ever wanted to, we talk about a lot on this call about how the information field works, how it's possible to do these sort of remote analysis there. There's a whole section on the information field also. So a whole series here, 7 different videos, and there's a ton of content. There's information on how you can earn a little bit of money by selling Healys also in the business section. There's a download section where all of our app manuals and flyers and all that kind of thing are in there. There's courses you can take, which kind of are cool. You go through, you have to watch the series of videos first, and then at the end, you take a test and you get a little certificate at the end if you pass it, which is awesome too. And those are all stored in the My Learning section. You'll see there's a little section, training certificates also. And there's actually, I just noticed this now. I had not logged into Academy since Saturday, but there's an essential oils module section. So that was one of the big new products launched during Healy World Meets the World this past Saturday. It was an awesome new module available in the Analyze app itself. So actually, there's a training tomorrow with Martin Whitman, our Chief Product Officer, on the 2 new products. So the essential oils module and the plant power database. So definitely I'll put the link into the chat here after I'm done sharing my screen here, or if Dominic, if you happen to have that, just go ahead and do that. But a great video on that. So there's a ton of content. You could spend a few weeks here in Academy going through all this stuff. So certainly check all that out. And then, so we have the email list, we have Healy Academy, and then we have our 2 YouTube channels. We have the Healy World Official YouTube channel, which is just at Healy World Official. And this is the global channel, basically all the corporate videos as well, stuff on elements. There's a whole short section. And then you'll see here, there's 2 new videos that were shared on Saturday the essential oils and plant power database video. So if any of you are on this call and didn't see what happened on Saturday, go to the Healy World official YouTube channel and watch these two videos because they get a great explanation of these two new products that were just launched. And then if you're looking for recordings of this call, like Tech Tip Tuesday, that type of thing, or Frequencies and Friends, which we do once a month for the Americas, go to Healy World America. So we have at Healy World Official on YouTube, and we have at Healy World Americas on YouTube. And you'll see here the recent recordings, Tech Tip Tuesday. You can go to the playlist, and then if you go to Tech Tip Tuesday, you'll see here um, we have 127 Tech Tip Tuesdays for you to review. Also dating back to 2021 sometime that we started doing this. So there's lots of content there. And then there's also actually a brand new section, the Healy Shorts section. We just launched this a few weeks ago. Henry Pena, our onboarding specialist, does a great job with these videos. You know, we kind of team up on the content, but he's the main star behind these. Does all the editing himself, which is very cool. But yeah, actually, this one was just added today. So definitely check this section out. It's this last one, the most recent one, is about the three different power settings, the switch settings on the MagHealy, and what you can expect and what each one of those does as far as the charging behavior, the light patterns, and that kind of thing too, which is very cool. So check that out. And then also, so we got the shop and then our events calendar. So this is where the majority of our events are posted. So you have links here to each of the Tech Tip Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, you'll see there was a link here for this past Saturday for Healy World Meets the World. So this is Healy America's events.com. And yeah, if you want onboarding sessions too, if you go to our onboarding page, which is healyonboarding.com, there's a Calendly link too, which we can put into the chat. But this is where you can go. These onboarding sessions are directly with Henry Pena. They're small groups. There's a few people at a time typically, but you can do an hour and a half onboarding session on using your Healy 2 app, using the Analyze app, and these are also available in Spanish too. So very, very, very cool. So there's a lot of locations to go to keep up with Healy. You know, there's a lot of things that you kind of cover all the different channels, whether from email to social media to the onboarding sessions that are via Zoom too. And then of course we have Tech Tip Tuesdays. Pretty much every Tuesday night. Occasionally we do have to skip one, but for the most part, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, you'll find me and Ken and a member of our tech support team helping out in the chat. So hopefully that helped.
Hey, there's a lot of stuff. And we even get Henry Pena come on live with us. So
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
trifecta of people here sometimes because
Uh-huh.
he's another one of the faces of the field, right?
Yeah.
So when he comes on, he's live with us. So that's awesome. Yeah, great content there, you guys. Lots of resources. So Lindley asks, is there a time frame as to when Marcus Smika will release the unnecessary use of the wristbands to receive ATP, etc.? Okay, so because microcurrent has such a huge history, right, of its ability to promote ATP, it's studied research content. It will never be unnecessary. Now, maybe the understanding or the science around how the coil does a similar or same influence on the body. So that research is still in the mix. So when will we
Yeah.
see it?
Yeah, I guess maybe the word unnecessary isn't
Right.
the one because for the microcurrent to be delivered for the most part there has to be some sort of contact with the
Yeah.
skin. So maybe the format wouldn't necessarily have to be in a wristband, but something touching um, the skin there. It could look different possibly in the future itself, but um, yeah.
Yeah, the research is continuing, folks,
Uh-huh.
because that's the cool thing is that, I mean, Marcus loves doing studies, but really being able to measure ATP influence by energy, that's really an ongoing thing because even, I mean, studies into other therapies, red light therapy, and other things in the field that are going on to see what happens within the cell structures of the body. So, Healy is a unique system with a unique transmitting process, aka wires and microcurrent, or converting that same electron flow into a magnetic signal with the coil. It's unique. And so out in the world, like say red light therapy is being looked at from all over the place because it's not really unique. It's everywhere. Healy's right here, Healy. And so Marcus is doing all the research. We'll see.
Yeah, and kind of, yeah, you were on the Healer Meets the World, but for those of you also, Lindsay, I don't remember if you were there, but yeah, Marcus had a segment and he talked about, there's constantly research being done and innovation. We launched these two new products, but there is a ton more being worked on. There's a whole products lineup for the next few years, actually, too. So there's a lot of exciting things to come, even starting later this year too. So
We're blessed to be have a parent company called Time Waver
yeah,
because
yeah,
there's so much going on with that company that trickles down into Healy, um, and still giving us a wearable, shareable, portable, personal system. Right? We don't even need to be a practitioner. Okay, so let's see. Here's another question. Okay, we're not trying to prescribe anything, but do I bring okay back into the understanding of how the HealAdvisor Analyze, aka Blue app, works versus the Healy 2 app, the pink app works. There's two different modalities here, and so there's a question here about um, when we're like I mentioned before, how we would do an analysis and we would choose a database in which that analysis would net information. So the analysis then nets information. And if we've chosen all Healy programs, then it's going to net information about what microcurrent or AKA Healy 2 programs or pages to use. Okay, great. So now, like I mentioned before, we have this recipe of programs. Now what? Okay, so from the Blue app, you can vibrate the contents of that entire program to the client, right? This is done through the information field. It's broadcast through the non-physical. But for someone to be able to take your Pink app and send that kind of stuff to the client, there is no way to choose a client in the Pink app. And the reason for that is because it's connected to only one person, and that's the one in the three-dimensional space that's holding it. So in other words, you can't broadcast through the information field or distance healing with the Pink app. It's not designed for that. It's not made for that. Now, the I guess the extended understanding of that, when you put the coil on the Healy, it's sending a magnetic signal out into free space in a sphere. The max effective range for that magnetic signal, when we've taken the Pink app, we're running a microcurrent program, but we're using the coil to transmit that into magnetic energy instead of electron flow into the body. It still only has a maximum radius of effectiveness, and it's about a 1 meter or 3 feet ball. Okay, a ball. So if it's right here in my body, I'm covering pretty much my whole body, and anybody sitting on my lap or anybody I'm hugging, whatever, it's within that space. Yes. Now, it doesn't mean that that magnetic signal doesn't stop right there. It's just that's the maximum effective range. Magnetic emissions or all frequencies are infinite. They never end, but their amplitude reduces significantly the further away it gets. You understand? When we're working with information field and we put the attention and intention on a client using that client record and then specifically choosing a database to transmit to that client, now we are quantum entangled and we're using the quantum field. We have no boundary. and we have no depletion of amplitude. It's the same power throughout the universe. Quantum entanglement. Okay. And there's science on that, by the way. Go to Academy and you can watch videos on that science. Okay. And Dongni's putting some information in there for you as well to give you another differentiation. Thank you for that. I just want to make sure that we brought that back on the air here and kind of expand a little
Hmm.
bit. Okay. All right, what else have we got? Oh, here's one. Julie's asking the advantages of using the coil. Again, it's tied into what we were just talking about. The question about will the wristbands be unnecessary? We're talking about two different modalities. Healy transmits microcurrent. It transmits electron flow. That electron flow, what is an electron, first of all? Okay, here we go. An electron is a very small, tiny piece of energy that contains one thing: information. Information. And it's these electrons that couple together with other electrons within a molecule to build material content or chemical content. They come together to build molecules. Molecules come together in the body to formulate cells. Cells come together to formulate systems or organs. Organs come together to create a body, right? So we just get the bigger and bigger. So, but we go down to the tiny. We're talking about the electron, and so Healy transmits an electron, but superimposed into the electron is information, and the information is a frequency. It's a frequency. So then we take that electron flow and we either broadcast it down wires, send it down wires through wristbands or sticky pads, and infuse that information into the body via that modality, or we take that same electron flow, plug a coil in, run that electron flow through a coil, and because we're running electron through a coil of wire, it builds a magnetic field. The magnetic field then transmits out into free space. It's actually two magnetic fields at 180 degrees off. So one goes forward, one goes backward. When you're wearing it on your body, you're in the center of a 0-point magnetic field. Okay. And what's on those magnetic waves? Information. The same information that was in the electron, but it's broadcast into free space. And what's the information? Frequency. And what's the frequency doing? Inducing information into your body. And your body is decoding that information, no different than if it was delivered with the electrons or through a magnetic signal. Now, I say no difference. It is a bit different because electrons is studied, researched, and known to increase certain aspects of cell activity. It's charging the cell up. So are coherent magnetic waves, but to what degree? There's the variance. Okay. All right. Does that make sense, or are you guys just totally confused?
Makes sense to me. I think that's great. So,
You've been here before, Jake. You got an advantage.
I know, but
Um, all right. So Kenny's asking, can I run the Healy without the wrist wires and still benefit from the frequency? So again, I just explained that, right? Hopefully that cleared it up for you, Kenny. Um, you're sending the information out in one of those two ways. Now, here's a kicker. I'll throw a little wrench in the gears. There is a page within Healy that it shows you a picture of how to connect the Healy to the body, or I should say how to send the information to the body, right? And if you take a look at that page, and this is the bioenergetic defense page. So bioenergetic defense page has, what's it got on there? It's like 8 programs.
yeah, yeah,
And if you click on one of those, you'll see a picture of a person with the Healy just in their pocket, clipped to their pocket or their wristband. No wires, no coil, no nothing. So how the heck does that work, Ken? Right? We just explained there's only 2 ways. Well, here's a third. And I'm gonna, again, I don't want to try to muddy up the water or cloud you or confuse you, but Healy does have a frequency transmitter built in. Okay, it's part of it. This is how the electrons are infused with the frequencies and then transmitted out the wire. But it's happening simultaneously through the frequency transmitter within the Healy, like a radio beacon, right? And it's going into the proximity, but not all the programs are designed to be implemented that way. They're not. Okay. And so in regards to the bioenergetic defense page, you'll see that they are compatible to run without any connections as well as with the coil. So I don't want to try to confuse you more, but it's a lot of information to just go, oh, okay, wow, I got 3 ways to do this, but follow the instruction on the app. It's going to show you. And the reason it's telling you to connect via the electrodes or sticky pads, or that it can be done with a coil or without any of that, is because of what the program's designed to do. Okay. All right. All right. So where are we, Jake? We caught up. No, here's one. Dory says, I run MagHealy at night off the charger, then charge it in the morning and run an atmosphere program for an hour or two. Then I fully charge and make water and run the McMakin, and then go back on the charger until it's full to run off the charger at night. Is that okay? Perfect. Perfect. What you're doing there, Dora, is well, now let's go here for a minute. You're using it. Now you want to make sure and let that battery drain to dead. In other words, and you'll know because it's going to say it's not enough power to run a program, right? The app, if you try to run one, send one to the MagHealy, it won't because there's not enough power. It'll tell you that. So you just want to make sure that the cycles that you're using it in are fully charge and then fully deplete, fully charge, fully deplete. And you do that process at least 80% of the time. I know some people say, well, I'm doing it half the time. Well, maybe do it more often. Okay. We just don't, we want your battery to last to its fullest extent many years. So 80% of the time, fully charged, fully deplete, repeat. And then 20% of the time, hey, if you want to run it all night and you leave it on the charger, excellent. Okay.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty good routine to me.
Hey, let's just write it
You're
down.
using all the functions of the MagHealy, Matt. The atmosphere, the water, the McMakin. So
Yeah, you're doing it right. That's the whole thing.
yeah.
That's how. Yeah. Okay. So Kenny's asking, is there anyone else in Denver, Colorado that uses the Healy that I can talk to? A lot. Yeah. The Facebook page. Actually, I don't think you can comment in there, can you? No.
No,
There are some social media ones such out there, some social media pages that are open to make
yeah.
comments, such as some of the experience, um, the Healy experience page. You can go there and you can just ask. Go in the social media platforms, and if you're not on Facebook, that makes it a little tougher. We don't really have a list. I don't. Um, we don't really have a list of where people are. Okay.
Okay, so I got a question about essential oils module. So it says, will it magically appear in one of our apps or be a subscription or what? So essential oils is a subscription. I think it's the cheapest subscription we have. It's $7.30 per month, US. So if you just go to your Healy shop, go to the app modules and database section, and you'll see here the first two things listed are plant power and essential oils module. So the essential oils module is a subscription, $7.30 per month. The plant power database is a one-time purchase for $182, and that's you get that for life. And the plant power database, if those of you that haven't used it yet, it is a huge, or 500 plants, and this is one of the ones with so much information being analyzed there. When you do an analysis, it takes a few minutes to run through this when you're going through it too. So it's a very, very extensive database. So, I definitely, of course, I've used them both already many times. Definitely highly recommend both of those too, but certainly try it out, especially the essential oils module just for the around $7 per month. And again, there's those videos that I showed earlier that are on the Healy World official YouTube channel. You can check out a little bit more information on those new modules as well. Oh,
Super.
and also, as far as magically appear, for those of you that have an Obsidian edition, it did magically appear. So, yeah, that's one of the benefits of having, our highest edition, the Obsidian edition, which Ken's wearing, I'm wearing right now. Also, is that any new database, program, group, or module is automatically added for free forever. So it's, always the first ones to get these new modules too. So to answer the question of will it magically appear, if you have an Obsidian, yes, it did magically appear. But for anyone else that does not have the Obsidian edition, very easy to add it via your Healy shop.
Yes, yes, wonderful stuff, you guys. The new essential oils.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, and Martin Whitman has talked about how the association with like Bach flower and the essential oils. I think he's talked about that, and there's going to be some training more about that. So he may.
yeah. For those of you that missed it, I put the link into the chat a little bit ago for the training tomorrow with Martin Whitman on the essential oils module and plant power database. There's a link, a Zoom link to register for that.
So cool, so powerful I mean, what we can do here. Oh, I love it. Okay, so let's see. Here's a question. Kenny's asking, are the sticky pads better than the wrist bracelet? So, I mean, better. I don't know that that's the comparison one better than the other. Convenient. The wristbands are convenient and a good way to apply the microcurrent to the body systemically. So when you put them on your wrists, you're working with the entire system, the whole body. Okay. The sticky pads are very convenient and very efficient for just applying in a spot, in an area, or guiding the input point on the body. Some of the programs, such as the acute programs, are asking you to place the sticky pads in certain places on the body. Acute meaning it's not systemic. Systemic is the whole body. Acute means is part of the body, or part, or I should say, even a targeted um, alignment. So if it's like the pain page, the stimulation page, you're addressing like the cervical spine connecting down here, or the brachial plexus, which is an area on each side of the spine where the massive information goes through, and so we're trying to put information into the brain in a close proximity. That's where it's applied, and that's done best with the sticky pads. And you'll see the app itself gives you a picture. Now, um, granted, even the picture where it's showing you on the wrist looks like a little round circle, like a sticky pad, right? If it's showing you with a little round circle on the wrist, it kind of looks like it's on the top of the wrist, right? That diagram looks like it's on the top of the wrist. Okay, if it's a round circle, like looks like on top, you can supersede that picture with a wristband. Just I don't recommend using, I don't use the sticky pads on the wrists. I use the wristbands because that means it's a systemic application. Unless I've got a sore wrist, I've done something, damaged it, then I'm putting a sticky pad on the same wrist on each side of the pain, and I'm
Mhm.
addressing the problem there. Okay, so that's a acute application where those sticky pads are super useful.
Yeah. So depends on where you're trying to use it, if they're better or not.
Yeah, better, more efficient. It'd be a better
Yeah.
word than that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so Dory's saying that the MagHealy is fully dead in the morning. Okay, but there isn't enough hours in the day to fully charge and fully drain it. So you want to try to work that out. I recommend that you work that out.
You can take a day off. We always recommend to take at least one day off for a week. So that would be a good time to to
Yeah.
fully drain or fully charge. So, or both actually. So,
Yeah, we just want to make sure. I would want to make sure that you're getting the maximum life expectancy out of your product, right? Healy, the MagHealy is a huge investment. It's a great investment, but we want to make sure to maximize its longevity. And no different than say your mobile phone, right? The mobile phone has kind of a built-in software package that actually gives you an I don't know if it's not really an efficiency. It's a life expectancy report, um, the condition report. Like, if your phone is 4 years old and you look at that condition report, it'll show you your battery's like at 84% efficient, meaning some of its life is gone. This is true of all electronic stuff. I mean, everything has kind of a rate of change and depletion, no different than the aging of our bodies. If we use the body right, we nourish it properly, rest it properly, it lasts a long time. Well, we need to practice that with our devices, with our MagHealy and our Healy. Make sense? Now, I also want to add another piece here. Here in the Pacific Northwest, it's wintertime. It's cold. And Healy and MagHealy do have a temperature range tolerance. Okay. You don't want to leave it in a freezing car. You also, in the summertime, in the hot areas, you don't want to leave it in a car that's baking in the sun. Okay. So we want to treat our Healy as we want to be treated environmentally, and use it within those boundaries. There is information in the owner or the manual that comes with your Healy in the back about the conditions. There's information in there, but that I want to bring that point forward because I like to mention that every time winter comes around. Some people are leaving their Heelys in the car. I don't recommend that. It's not made for that. All right. Are we caught up? How are we doing there, Jake? It looks like you're muted.
think
Oh, there.
we're, yeah, I think we are caught up. There was actually one question earlier, did a short video explaining Healy, and thank you, Dongmi, for putting that link to Academy. I mean, also a ton of videos on our YouTube channel that we showed earlier. So if you go back to um, more so on the Healy World official YouTube channel, you'll see most of those videos there. So I would definitely check that out. You can go to the video section, search for whatever you're really looking for there. Actually, we have since we're caught up here, I'm going to share it again real quick. So yeah, if you just go back to Healy World Official, you can search, go to the home part and look at sort of all the different sections, product highlights, MagHealy, Healy Rising, but you can also check out the videos. You can look at the latest one, most popular or oldest. And if you want to search not within all of YouTube, but just specifically within this channel, you just click on this search little icon right here, type that in, and that will search just within the Healy World official YouTube channel. So you'll get a much more uh, narrow or focused results versus if you just put that into the search bar at the top.
Yeah, if you put microcurrent in the search bar of the entire
Yeah,
YouTube platform, you're gonna get all kinds of stuff. But if you're just in one of our channels, it's different. And
yeah,
there is I always share there's on Venmo Venmo there's some lots of videos. So the Healy Academy is going to link you to those.
yeah,
So there's one that's about 6 minutes long. I like to share, but you got to know what resonates with you and your demographic. Who are you sharing with? And there's lots of things out there that might resonate with you, that are different than me. There's some first steps content, videos about first steps around Healy and MagHealy, um, and even first steps when it comes to the academy. Like how do you use the academy? Right? There's even
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question or great point there, Ken. Because yeah, if for some people it's just I want to 2 minute overview of just what Healy is. Other people might be more interested in how is this picking the programs to send to me. You know, we have videos for that. Or someone might want to know the science behind Healy as well. There's a whole section on that too. So those are all those videos from Academy are shareable. So very easy to just copy the link and paste. As Ken mentioned, they all if you just share the link, it plays outside of Academy externally in Vimeo.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Here's a great question. We were just talking about the obsidian. Julie's asking, what's the difference between the white and the black one, right? So we got this is Healy. This is the start. Healy came out with the obsidian. So electronically, they're the same. Functionality wise, they're the same. Programs, they're as far as accessibility, they're different. But what they can do, they can both do the same. Um, so the Obsidian is a special edition of Healy that one can purchase, or right now we have a deal going on where you can actually earn one for free with just on your efforts of sharing,
Yeah.
uh, which is great. And that's how I got mine, folks. I earned it by, you know, working with others and creating a business model and answering, checking some boxes on the things to do. But it comes with a VIP club, which gives you kind of first access to much content and unique access that's not accessible everywhere. It also, like Jake said earlier, all the new stuff that comes, modules and programs and functions are automatically uploaded and available when you own one. So, which may be a subscription in the other modality, in the other versions. Okay. So definitely work on getting one. We would love to have, I mean, that would be great. If everybody had one, then instantaneously everyone's got one. But it takes some work to get it or an investment to do so. Okay. So Kenny's asking, so which Healy app do you use to analyze which programs are most efficient for your body? So again, it's like the blue app, the HealAdvisor Analyze 2 app. Okay, its purpose, it's not necessarily looking, let me let me see how to word this. It's not necessarily looking for what programs are most efficient for your body, but as opposed to it's looking for a way to bridge the needs of your body with a database, the contents in the database. Okay. And if we've chosen the database that is all the Healy microcurrent programs in the pink app, then as I mentioned before, it's going to give you the ability to create this recipe I mentioned and a number of programs that are I mean, they're not inefficient for your body, but they're the needs of your body right now. And whatever's going on with you, most of the time we don't even recognize what's going on with us because it's been such a long-term thing that we're just like, that's just me getting older, or that's just my body, right? Instead of, well, maybe there's some toxic burden or there's some conditions that have caused this problem within your body. And so the analysis system allows you to get that information. What is it that you need? And Healy will give you that report. And it's based on whatever database you've chosen. Okay. So, and then you go and switch over. If you're doing the pink app analysis or what's called all Healy programs, and you're drilling it down like I mentioned how to do so, then you just go to those pink app programs and start applying those to the tune of 3 programs per day. That's the recommended, the Healy application, microcurrent programs, 3 a day. The coil application is not the same. Okay, you can do many of those. Again, pay attention to your body. I don't care if you're working with the information field and you're receiving vibrational signals, but if your body is sensitive, you could have some biological effects. I mean, and these biological effects are not like, you're not gonna die. That's not it. But you could have what we like to call detox symptoms. The body is shedding itself of things, and it can be stressful to the body. It can be achy, brain fog, headaches, maybe, and especially if you're not keeping up on your hydration. That's really important, folks. That's how you combat these detox type symptoms, or the way the body heals itself is it needs good hydration. So keeping up with that is vital. All right. Okay.
Okay. Got a question from where to go? Okay. Was again more asking for more information on the essential oils module, and thank you, Dominique, for putting some of those links into the chat. Yeah, so there's multiple places to go for more information on the those two new the plant power database and essential oils module. First, um, in what we were showing earlier in Healy Academy, there's a download section. So if you go at the top menu here, you'll see the different sections. You go to downloads, and then if you click newest uploads, which always brings the newest files to the first page, you'll see here there's a flyer on essential oils, and there's also a different flyer that's in a more cell phone friendly format also there. Same with one for plant power, and then the regular plant power database flyer. So that's one section. Then we also have the videos that I showed the links for earlier. These are available on the Healy World official YouTube channel. So those are both available there now. And then finally, the links that Dongmi put into the chat there, if you go to our Healy shop and say you just click on the essential oils module from that data, app modules and database section, if you scroll down, there's a little bit of information here, but then you'll see at the bottom for more information, click here. And this actually opens up one of those documents that we just showed from Healy Academy. So you click this, it opens up the cell phone format document for essential oils, and it does the same thing if you were to click on the plant power database product too.
So
It's
much.
everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, so many powerful things that we can do here. Let's see. So there's a question here about would it be okay to use the coil instead of the pad? So again, it's application. In some cases there are contraindicators for utilizing the wristbands or microcurrent. It's not recommended. So you could use a coil instead. Um, and also instead of the pads. Again, the pads, if you're talking about the sticky pads, or I mean some we want to make sure the language is there's no barrier here. The wristbands are not pads, they're wristbands. Um, and then the sticky pads are sticky pads. So there's two different things. How would you could use either one of those, and you're applying microcurrent. The difference between the pads and the coil is you're applying two different ways of transmitting the frequency. One is magnetic energy, a wave invisible, and then that magnetic wave hits our body, and our body's like an antenna, and the body then decodes the information, and then it reinduces electron flow into the body containing the information, aka frequencies. So it's a little different process. You see that when we're wearing the pads or the wristbands, it's electron flow directly into the three-dimensional tangible body, into your skin, into your entire body, and the information is directly on that electron. And your body then it's directed properly through the body and utilized through cell structures that resonate with that frequency. It's still done that still is happening with the coil and the magnetic waves, but it's another way of putting in the body. And the most direct, if we're looking at ways of amplitude, how powerful is the action we're doing in real time right now per minute, the power per second. Microcurrent's the most powerful. Okay. It's the most powerful. And you can see that in the way it depletes the battery. It actually drains electrons and information from the battery at a faster rate than if you're using the same intensity with the coil, which the coil takes more battery life at the same usage time wise as, say, the pink or the blue app. The blue app is the least depletion of the battery. Okay, so you can see that this is just the laws of physics. When energy is being transferred, you can see it, the amplitude of energy based on the depletion of the energy source. And we're using the battery as the source for moving and sending, but it's the information created through the circuitry and the Healy hardware and software. And so highest amplitude of influence, microcurrent. Second is coil. Third is the information field. They all have influence and all have amplitude of influence. Okay. All right. And Kenny's last question here, which app uses the microcurrent? That's the pink app, the Healy 2 app. Its purpose is microcurrent. And Jake answered that for you. Okay. So when it comes to a certain thing, and I love Julie's question here at the end about a condition there, we're talking about parasites. What would you do? Use this HealAdvisor app, you guys. The HealAdvisor app over here off my shoulder. It's everybody's got it, and it's a database. You open the HealAdvisor app, and then you're going to see the search module. Click on the search module. It's going to download you'll open that up, and you can have a search bar at the top. Just click in your word. Click in your word, type it in, and you'll see. It'll give you a name, a group of programs. Click on the group, the name, and there's your programs. Okay.
Yep. And also check out the Healy app manual too.
Yeah.
It's a 49-page document, but it has details on each of the some programs more detailed than others, but in general, it's a great resource, and I think you'll be able to find the information you're looking for there too as well.
Super useful. All right, you guys. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Hey, if you found some content in that chat was useful, you can save the chat, the three little dots in your chat window. If you're on your PC or laptop, click on those three little dots. A drop-down window will come up. Click on Save Chat, and boom, the saved chat will show up. You can save it when we're done with this call. There'll be a message to save it to your hard drive. Okay? Doesn't work on a mobile device. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Hope to see you all on the training with Mark Whitman tomorrow at noon Eastern time. So
Martin Whitman, join in, guys. Okay. Thanks, Jake. Thank you, Dongney.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.